Hey everyone, I'm Diane Gale and I'm the author of the blog sustainableslowliving.com, and today you and I are going to make Brandy hot toddies. So hot toddies are a drink that I had always heard that name, but I never really knew what a hot toddy was until I worked out in Northern California on the Avenue of the Giants in the Redwoods at a bar where hot toddy was a very popular beverage in the winter time. The original hot toddy, they believe, came from India, and I think it was fermented palm. I don't know. Anyway, it had an alcohol that I'm not familiar with. The British brought it from India and it traveled to the Americas, and in the Americas, so in Britain it was made with whiskey and lemon and honey. And then in the Americas, they used the alcohol that they had, so it was rum and brandy and lemon. I like brandy in my hot toddy, so we are going to do it today with brandy, and we're going to use orange instead of lemon. Hot toddy is touted as a cure for the common cold and for flus. It is not a cure for that. Obviously, it does contain a lot of ingredients, particularly if you use local honey, that help to relieve symptoms of a cold or a flu. And I have found it to be very useful when you have a cold or flu. However, alcohol is not good to mix with medication, and if your symptoms are so severe that you have to take over-the-counter medication, then a hot toddy is really not for you. A hot toddy is not your answer to relieve symptoms in that case anyway, and alcohol also can weaken the immune system. A hot toddy is not a beverage that you overindulge in. One or two hot toddies when you're not feeling well, or to take the chill out of your bones on a cold winter's night. Just to enjoy a hot toddy or two is a good thing, but they're really not the type of beverage that you overindulge in. So with all of that said, I am going to bring you in a little bit closer, and I am going to show you how to make this beverage, because it is a beverage that tastes fabulous. It is very, very enjoyable to drink. It does chase the chill from your bones, and it is really nice to have the recipe in your arsenal, because when you're not feeling well, when you do have a cold or a flu, and it's appropriate to have a hot toddy to kind of open up your nasal passages, and for that honey to kind of relieve some of those symptoms. It really it does work on its own level. So come on in and I'll show you how to make it. So this beverage is super simple to make. It's no harder than making a cup of hot tea. And that's one of the things that I like about it. One of the things I should have said to you before was you can kind of think of it as far as remedies are concerned as a little bit like, Grandma's homemade chicken soup, right? Just kind of helps when you're not feeling well. So we're going to take a cup, and we're going to put a tablespoon of honey in here. Local honey makes all the difference in the world, because the bees have been feeding on the flora and fauna that is in the environment around you. And there are more health benefits to their honey for you than there are other honeys. However, you should use whatever honey you have available to you, rather than pass on the hot toddy because you don't have local honey. A tablespoon, I think, makes this drink pretty sweet. One of the great things about this beverage is once you learn how to make it, you can kind of adjust your measurements to suit you. So if you really want it to be sweeter than that, you can make it sweeter. A tablespoon does make it quite sweet. And then I'm going to take a nice orange slice, and I'm just going to squeeze that pretty thoroughly right into the cup. And I am going to just go ahead and throw the slice right in there when I'm done. And at this point, you're going to want to put in your hot water. Now, you don't want to put in your brandy first because you want to be able to melt your honey. So you want to put in your hot water first and make sure that you leave enough room for your brandy. When I do the recipe for this on the blog, I'm going to call for 1.5 cups of hot water. I usually do put more hot water in this because I make it in a regular mug. I'm making it in this mug for the pictures. You know, sometimes I do things just for pictures. And so I don't think there's enough room in here for 1.5 cups. And that's okay. It's just going to be a little bit stronger. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mix that honey up until it's pretty much melted. And then I'm going to take a shot of brandy and pour it in each cup. That looks like it's going to fill it right to the top. Now you can use a flavored brandy if you like. I prefer a plain brandy. And also know that there are suggestions for substitutions and variations for this beverage on the blog, so you can absolutely go over there and take a look and see how you want to make yours or how you might want to experiment. The final thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take a cinnamon stick and drop it right in that beverage. And then you're just going to want to let that steep for just a little bit. 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes. At that point, though, it might be starting to get a little bit too cool. And you are going to want to sip and enjoy. This is a delicious beverage to enjoy anytime, particularly during the cool weather. And again, so simple to make. All right, you guys, here we go. A brandy hot toddy. I haven't had a sip yet. It's been a long time since I've had one of these, and I actually think the last couple that I've had have been whiskey and lemon, so brandy and orange is my favorite. Here we go. Cheers. Just as I remember it. Definitely will take the chill out of your bones. So I hope you're going to make yourself one. It's a great cocktail recipe for you to have this winter. And thank you so much for being here with me today. You and I are going to get together again, and we're going to do it really soon.